Hello there, Spoons313 here. Today I'm going to read Templar's explanation, proper explanation, from the horse's mouth in regards to what's actually fixed Aliens Colonial Marines in the Overhaul mod, and to explain that it's not just the typo that was causing everything. So all those videos that people have put online saying it was just one typo that fixed the whole game, and then they tested it in a certain place and it didn't work for them. As I mentioned in the video yesterday, it's because they tested it in the wrong place and said it still wasn't good enough, blah blah blah. Well, they were all wrong. They all didn't do any research. I'm guessing some of them just read a tiny bit or watched someone else's video and decided to test it themselves and make their own video, and they honestly don't know what they're talking about. So in this very short video, I'm going to read through this massive paragraph here, or a set of paragraphs. It's like a freaking novel, it's so long, by TemplarGFX himself, and he's going to explain to you exactly what he's actually done and what improves the game. So I'm just going to crack on and read it, and then hopefully you'll get a proper understanding, because Templar knows what he's talking about over everybody else online, even the big channels that, to be honest, the big channels, all they do is just piss all over everything because they agree with each other all the time, and you know, they don't want any conflict with anybody, so they all just want to agree and get their views and get their subscribers. And it's just a bullshit way to make videos, because you're just spreading lies and deceit, you know, and it's ruining it for all of us that are really excited about this mod. And I mean, I've been playing and testing this mod for Templar, and believe you me, it is flipping awesome. It is absolutely amazing. The graphics and everything, the textures and everything yesterday had all the smoke and all the fire and the gore and everything. All the stuff on the walls looked juicy. It was fantastic. Okay. So, Templar writes, "So, version 6 is almost ready. I apologise for the delays. It is a busy time of the year, taking me away from PC quite a lot. The rest of the delay is for best reason possible. All new discoveries have changed the game so much that everything needs a bit of balancing to make it both enjoyable and challenging. I thought I'd share some of the recent discoveries and the new understanding I have of the systems at work in the game and what was wrong with it at release. I am sure by now you are all aware of the one-letter typo that kind of exploded onto the internet a while back. Well, the media blew it out of proportion, and while it is an important typo that has a real and measurable effect on the AI, the effect is not really what the media made out, with a lot just going with the hype train and not even fact-checking. See? So, the tethering system is used mainly to assist with game pacing, keeping spawned Xenos in hiding until the player arrives in the right area, and to allow Xenos to move outside of the designated combat area for the purpose of flanking. A tether point in the world might be used to trap a Xeno that comes near it via other means, so as to set up a good ambush or flank controlled by tether stats. Without tethers, the Xenos never have use of this tactical information, and as a result become more one-dimensional, just using pathing movement and melee attacks as they become valid. Sometimes they would just get stuck because they are supposed to attach to a tether but can't, scripted or otherwise. They can make a Xeno that chases you through a map change behaviour and take advantage of the new space. Now, it's a very big bug, but it's less responsible for some of the issues talked about in the articles you might have read due to their lack of understanding on what's going on. This of course means that you can only see the difference in a scenario that actually has tethers in use. The level Hope in Hadley's, where you need to save the Marines, is a good location. The hangar scene is not. PC Gamer, you douchebags, tested the typo fix in the hangar scene, attributing differences in behaviour that had nothing to do with the tether system. Ha ha ha. Laugh out loud. Now, I was wrong, however, when I said that the biggest bug in the game is one letter long. It turns out it was the second biggest bug in the game. The biggest bug by far is with a function called displace. From my understanding of this function, its purpose is to move the unit within the world without using the pathing system, relying on direct object avoidance to move a set distance in a set direction from its current location. The problem is it doesn't really work. Without any form of debugging, I can only guess that there is an issue with the collision avoidance part of this function. It works sometimes, usually in open areas where the direct movement has no obstacles, but it fails completely if a surface change is involved, however. This is a primary cause of their unreliable nature, where they sometimes fail to react or become temporarily or even permanently stuck in specific situations. Crowd control is one of the most common causes of them stopping for a moment randomly, and was what led me to figure out it was buggy. I personally don't think that anyone at Gearbox figured out what was causing the AI to bug out, and the reason for that is about 80% of the Soldier Xeno AI is disabled. Every Xeno, Marine and Merc in the game is called a character, and each character has its own unique definition for its body, how it looks, animates and sounds in the game, its AI, how it thinks, its rule engine, what it thinks, and its pawn, what it is and is not able to do in the game. The characters have a parent-child relationship to each other. For example, the player character is a child of the default character definition. Think of it like the template all others are built from. So a Xeno Lurker is a child of the Xeno Soldier character, which is a child of the default character. O'Neill's character is a child of the Marine shared character, which in turn is a child of the player character. A Mercenary Brute is a child of the Grunt Merc, who is a child of Human Shared, who is a child of the player. The rule engine tells the AI which state it starts in, how often the state is executed, and how many times it can loop through the states per execution. The state tells the engine what rules to test and in the order in which to test them. The rule may have character and or game world conditions that must be met in order for the rule to execute, or to stop execution, or it can simply execute whenever it is reached. Rules have action sequences that are carried out by the AI if the rule is allowed to execute. It may have just one or a series. These can be set a flag, e.g. after playing the stand-up animation, set as stood to true, set an attribute, e.g. preventing a Xeno from moving onto a wall, change state, a lurker switching from attacking to hiding and vice versa, face a position, the last known location of a target, these are all examples, face a moving target, e.g. reorient a Xeno to look where you are running to rather than at you. Face a threat, e.g. turn to face a group of Xenos instead of just one. Move to target. Move to combat destination, e.g. move to a piece of cover at optimal range of current target. Move to a position relative to a target, e.g. move to the wall on the left side of the target at X distance. Move to a retreat position, e.g. move into a vent to teleport away. Displace, move specific distance in a specific direction. Perform a special move, e.g. pouncing or throwing a grenade. Play a sound, e.g. hissing or calling out targets. The Xeno Soldier is the main AI, and the main unit that you face in the game, from the Xeno family at least, and its rule engine starts at the AI's off in a state called crouch. The state looks at about 13 rules in sequence. Some are generic Xeno rules, stand, melee, scripted movement, etc., and several crouch-specific rules. Alongside the definition from crouch state are three other states: stand, stalk, and wait. Stand is used when the Xeno gets into melee range and stands up. It tells it to attack you in melee, strapped around you, and retreat. Stalk and wait are not even used by the game. Stalk has been disabled, and wait has been swapped out for a generic wait state. The stalk state was supposed to have some Xenos in busy engagements stay back in hiding and move into ambush positions so that they could attack effectively once the player has dealt with current Xenos they are fighting. The generic wait state has the Xenos stop and go idle if the player is being attacked by too many Xenos at once, called gangbanged. Yeah, I know, it sounds funny, I know. Or hiss and retreat, or switch target. The unused soldier wait state was to have the AI use this time to reposition themselves in the world. In older versions of my mod, I re-enabled these states and adjusted the rules within them, but they still called on the displace function in many instances, which meant they were buggy and unreliable. In version 6, I have abandoned the stalk and soldier wait states entirely, and instead used the custom rules inside them to rework them into entirely new custom rules. Inside the soldier wait state is an action called Move to Target Evaluator Position. In the original game, this is only used to strafe around you when the Xeno is standing up. However, the implementation in the wait state uses it to flank you while using the environment to its advantage. I disabled a flag called Prefer Floor and enabled a flag called Prefer New Surface, which meant each time this rule executed, a Xeno on the ground would try and find a position on the wall or ceiling or crate near its target to move to. Or, a Xeno on the ceiling would move to a wall or jump down to the floor. By re-enabling the wait state in the older versions, the Xenos acted a little more intelligently, but back then I had no control over the states themselves, the rules it evaluated and the order in which it did so. So the Xenos had become less reliable, as the buggy rules were also evaluated in these unused states, adding more changes for them to bug out. I cracked this about a month ago, and now know how to change the rules as state evaluates and the order they are evaluated, as well as how the rules are triggered and what they do. First, I modified the crouch state so that it no longer called the rules that switched to these states, instead calling the rule in the soldier wait state. I then modified the rule so that its execution conditions are if it is at a medium range and has no valid cover, or if the unit has been shot at recently but is not in the player's center view, or if the unit is taking decent damage and is in the player's center view. If none of these are true, the Xeno will move directly towards the current target, taking the cheapest path to get there. If any of these are true, the Xeno will select an ideal position to the sides or rear of the target and then move towards that position. By adjusting the order of rules and where in that order this new rule was evaluated, I ended up generating two types of Xeno behavior in the game. The first I called Direct, and it is more in line with the original game's design. The Xenos will come at you from many angles, but once they are close, they will go for you directly until they die, or their target is killed or incapacitated. The second I call Indirect, and this places the rules so it is evaluated before just about everything else. These Xenos are less aggressive, preferring a more cat and mouse game where they can get right to you without being engaged. This can cause some pacing issues with the campaign due to the fact that the Xeno is free to move around the world without any restrictions once it has been enabled, providing one of the conditions above is true. Direct is more action-packed and fast-paced, with Xenos quickly closing the distance on their targets and avoiding gunfire by using cover and surface changes. They are deadly due to the sheer number of them and the fact that they can be very hard to hit while swarming you. The test versions of V6 are this Xeno type, and it will be the mod's default, as it fits most with the story of the campaign. Indirect is slower paced and more like a horror experience, where the motion tracker is truly useful in order to keep track of the Xenos and not get ambushed. They are easier to kill, as you will get more chances to shoot at them as they move about, but they spread out, leading you to be attacked from multiple angles at once, killing one but turning your back on another. Now, not every map in the game is made equal, and some maps work better than others. It is possible, although, and not feasible, to have custom AI for each map. As it is, I have created a single configuration that is used in all maps to save time. Even so, some are heavily scripted where 10 seconds can go by before a Xeno's AI is activated, and it is free to choose what it does. In these situations, the AI will always do the same thing, and you will usually kill them before they are unleashed. Distress, No Hope in Hadleys, The Raven, One Bullet, Hope in Hadleys, and Derelict Reclaimed are particularly good maps that allow a lot of freedom for the AI. And then he says, anyway, that's enough of the rambling for now. So that's a massive explanation to what he's done to fix the AI, to make custom rules and all the other stuff that entails. And even though the typo was a big-ish thing, it wasn't the biggest thing, and it didn't fix the game on its own. So that's the whole point. So I hope that you have a better understanding of it now that I've read this massive narrative from TemplarGFX, and you've got a better understanding of how everything works, and you'll know that in the future especially in in the future when V6 comes out, it's going to be polished, it's going to be perfect. And I'm working my ass off playing through the game for Templar, so I'm going to keep playing through the entire campaign and testing it all and logging every bug I come across, so hopefully nothing will be missed. And I must admit, the AI are pretty damn ruthless right now. They really are, and they're really good. You do get areas where you get tons of them on top of you, and then you get other areas where it's a little bit quiet and they'll sneak up on you and things like that. So it's paced well, and it's a lot of fun. Anyway, I don't want this video to be any longer. I just wanted to read that so everyone's got a little bit of real, truthful information and not all this hogswash you get from all the other channels. And that's about it. I've been Spoons313. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll hope to catch you in more videos or my live streams on Twitch. Take care.